just we wanted to ask you a bunch of questions, but then we also just we like to shoot the shit at the end.
Yeah, man.
And
This has been great.
Rob has some.
Okay, so I was reading this paper, the Porter Post or Mr. Porter Post, irrelevant. But anyways, in it there was a section where it listed some of the world's craziest delicacies.
Oh, tight.
And me and Trav were just started joking about how delicacies are like
Just another word for shit food somewhere else.
bad food, you know?
That's really funny. There's a stand-up bit.
100%.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard? They have to say delicacy as a way to convince you that the weird, awful food you're about to eat is locally accepted.
Oh, this fig drenched in olive oil.
Yeah.
No, way worse.
Way worse.
Way worse. Okay, I'm gonna read you some of these.
Yeah.
Because
they drink urine over here, and you're like, oh, it's gross. They go, no, it's a delicacy, and you go, oh my god.
Shout out urine.
So it's a delicacy.
Our pick of the world's most adventurous delicacies and where to find them.
We'll do a smash or pass on this.
Okay, this one grossed me out. I got to read this one. So, Casu Marzu, Italy, is where it's from.
Of course.
On the Mediterranean island of Sardinia, the aging of cheese is taken to putrid extremes. Rather than simply introducing bacteria to the maturing process, makers of Casa Marzu, it translates helpfully as rotten cheese, add egg-laying flies to a pecorino-like wheel. The insects deposit larvae in the cheese, which hatch into maggots. The resulting cheese is rich and silky soft, and the maggots are consumed alive. The EU banned it on safety grounds in the 1990s. Eat at your own risk.
Pretty sure that's how Spider-Man was conceived. You're just eating a bunch of maggots and cheese. Jesus.
And why does just calling it a delicacy make somebody, if that word didn't exist,
acceptable,
and someone says, "Hey, do you want some gazu masu, whatever that was?"
Yeah, some maggot cheese.
You want some maggot cheese, and you go, "No,
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You're a freak, and I don't want to talk to you anymore." And then they go, "Oh, it's a delicacy." And you go, oh, that means some freaks in Italy eat it. I don't care still. Why does that word? Why does that word make it seem like we should want to eat it?
Right?
Yeah, you're expanding the palate, your flavor.
Become a part of the culture. But
my favorite is at least like Italy, they have taste there. It would be something where if they say that tastes good, that maybe you try it. But there's parts where what they eat is just what's locally available. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
And it's a delicacy. It's just a delicacy in a place where maybe they can't have big crop fields.
Mm-hmm.
And so they eat millipedes.
What's available.
Yeah, what's available. And then it becomes a delicacy and you're like, you're a restricted diet.
There's a restaurant in Denmark. The name escapes me, but it's one of the most famous restaurants in the world. And basically that's what they do. They go up this little farm in the fields and they just pick everything that's available. And that's just what they make at the restaurant. They don't
I'm picturing in Lion King when they had those bowls of they were just eating like they were gummy worms, the bowls of all the different grubs. And that's what I picture.
Did you see the new one?
No.
I refuse to. I love the animation. I've heard it's very soul sucking. I've heard.
You know what my worry is I love the original so much. I don't want to taint that. My memories.
Anchorman.
And I'm worried that they're gonna put a lot into it. That's they try to be so socially conscious with movies now that it might take away from just the feel of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they got it right with the first one. You know what they should do is they should just animate the first one exactly the same with that animation. Same words, same characters, same plot.
Yeah.
I'd see that.
Make billions of dollars either way just because the film's called The Lion King.
Yeah.
That's so marketable as it is.
So
what's another one here?
Round two.
Was that a smash or a pass?
That's a big old passarino for me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another one here. Fermented shark, Iceland. You might have heard of this, actually.
Yeah.
The late Mr. Anthony Bourdain ate a lot of out there delicacies in his career as an international food correspondent. But there were, he said, 3 things he would never touch again. Plain food, Namibian warthog rectum, and Icelandic fermented shark. The latter, known as Hakarl, is cured and hung to dry for months, during which fermentation produces high levels of ammonia. First-timers are advised to hold their noses and attempt to reduce their gag reflex, which is unhelpfully triggered by the ammonia.
Ew.
Ammonia's pee, right? Pee smell?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know exactly. but
Why do all these things have like rectum in it, or
Yeah.
like maggot, or fermented?
if I'm
rotten.
not going to go through the recipes
Yeah.
because there's a bunch of reading here, but like if you just listen to what these are called: rabbit brains, deep fried tarantula,
Oh, tight.
stuffed moose heart. That one's Canadian delicacy.
That sounds
Is it a
Canadian.
delicacy?
Is that delicacy?
It's
Like,
called.
when was the last time you had that?
It's called. You live somewhere where the main source of food comes from hunting, and you have to make a moose heart into. It's like you have to turn a bad thing when life gives you lemons. Make
Yeah,
lemonade.
I agree
Yeah.
with
They're
that.
making stuffed moose heart. It's when you have the option to go down the street and get a South Street burger, double patty,
Ooh.
salted.
Ooh.
I'm not going and finding stuffed moose heart.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
sub that patty for a moose heart in between
No.
those buns.
So I think other than in a museum,
Yeah.
I could comfortably, if you give me a button right here that said remove the world's delicacies
Yeah.
from existence, I would hit it. I'd hit that button. Would you?
What about Kopi Luwak?
Okay.
What is that?
Hear that?
No.
It's
Sounds Hawaiian.
coffee beans that come from cat poop.
Oh, okay. That sounds
Oh, I have heard of that actually.
logical.
Coffee
Delicacy.
beans that come from a cat poop.
So
What do
like-
they feed the
Hey, the
cat?
The cats eat the cherry, they poop it out, and they make that into coffee, and it's $80 a cup of coffee.
8T?
80.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's a
Okay.
delicacy.
Oh, it's a delicacy. Oh.
Yeah, I'm good with my Timmy's.
Yeah.
Our
Next time you go into Timmy's, ask for whatever you just said. Yeah, I don't know. This whole delicacy, man, I would hit that button. I'd say, as long as it was replaced with everybody that was eating those things with a South
Yeah.
Street burger,
Yeah.
I'd hit that button.
Isn't liver a delicacy in some places? Like what is it, pate or something?
Oh, dude, remember when we had pate that one time and it was puke?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a
At the-
sentence that's been said
At the
a lot.
sip bar.
Dude,
human history.
pate is the closest thing I could imagine to baby barf.
Yeah, that's up there.
Because, babies
Yeah.
can't really chew stuff that well.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a gelatin.
It-
And it tastes kind of like barfy a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why'd you have to torture an animal to get food this bad?
Sir, how are you enjoying your pate? It tastes kind of barfy.
It literally tastes barfy. I'd rather if it tasted that bad, but I knew that they just gave that goose or whatever it is like a really nice spa treatment for 3 years and then took its liver, then I'd be like, okay, it tastes bad. But the fact that they had to torture a goose to make something that
Yeah.
awful.
You're talking about foie gras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was
Foie gras.
what was I
Foie gras.
saying? Pate.
Foie
I'm saying liver,
gras.
but it's just
Liver.
yeah,
Is it the same
the
thing?
tortured liver pate you're talking
You're
about.
talking to a guy with a limited palate over here. Okay, I think that's fine on the delicacy front.
Yeah.
We wanted to reserve like a few minutes on this podcast to get
Yeah.
that out of the air.
Yeah.
The other thing is we usually wrap things up with the tips for your 20s.
Uh-huh.
And, as 27, 28-year-olds, we're nowhere near out of our 20s right now.
Yes.
So we can comment on this. But as someone in the service industry,
Mm-hmm.
as someone who's, doesn't have that stable 9 to 5, there's a question that pops up a lot. Do you Uber X or do you Uber pool?
Or also, do you tip on your Uber?
Ooh.
Okay, interesting.
I'm an Uber X guy, and I'm the guy that likes talking to the driver. I like asking what their story is and like who they are, and you can find out pretty quickly if they just don't want to talk back. So I usually just kind of like leave it at that. I meet some pretty cool people from all over the world. I find usually those are the guys driving for Uber and Lyft, people that are like just looking to make a little bit extra money to support their family, artists as well.
I agree with that.
Uber
You can,
pool.
but you can also tell when they're not cool.
Oh yeah, like,
Immediately.
Yeah.
immediately. Like,
Yeah.
good. And
Good.
you're like, all right, just
And you-
But
sit back
also,
here.
you know what? As a rider, sometimes you feel that way too, and you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
kind of like, shut up. I don't want to talk to you either.
That I want to talk, but I agree 110%. I've used pool a couple times. I just find like that feels more like a forced, like we're riding together. Let's have some fun. It's like, it's kind of.
Yeah, like yeah. Do you have any like bad experiences, good experiences?
I went out for a drink with a girl I met in an Uber pool, but I was with people.
oh,
And it was like me and my buddy Walter, and we went with a girl, and I got her number, and then I went out for a drink with her, and that was it. Nothing else happened after that. But I was like, oh, maybe I could just like use Uber pool like me girls.
I
It's
bet
like,
you there's
no.
100. There's
Oh,
100
for
guys.
Sure.
There's a bunch of guys out there that automatically pool because they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna get a chick, dude.
so many babes in
yeah,
the car.
and then they get in the car and they're like, sup?
You know what? It's using Uber Pool as a way to pick up girls is probably equivalent to swiping on Tinder. You know, like you only find
99% of the time you're not going to get who you're looking for. No, that's a good experience. I don't know. I the only thing I've heard is I've had a good and a bad experience. I think you've had a bad experience.
Yeah, I got a pretty funny story. So after a date one night, I call an Uber Pool late night. It's down
Broke.
like yeah. yeah. You know what? I think this was one of the last times I stopped using Uber Pool. And actually, you know what? This and the fact that sometimes you just get like some drivers sometimes would take advantage of having you in the car. It would just be picking up everyone, and it'd be frustrating. You think, oh, I have so much time, I'll just like pool it, you know, like save a bit of money here. But then they end up driving all
They
the
take
fucking.
long
it almost
routes to
takes
try to pick
longer, and
someone
it's not
else
even
up.
worth it. That would frustrate me. But anyways, I'm downtown and I call an Uber Pool, King Street, and I'm sitting in the front seat with this driver, and we pull over and pick up 3 girls in the back.
And you're like, oh, leaving a date? I'm going to get some other dates right now.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And anyways, so we're driving along. The one girl in the middle, she's not feeling too hot.
Uh-oh.
And we're going, and all of a sudden, this girl just she's sitting in the middle back seat. She just projectile vomits like all the way up.
Keep that mic centered. I need to hear every detail.
Sorry, projectiles all the way up the middle console area.
Oh.
And gets on my jacket, mostly on this driver though. This driver was, you know, and he had what's it called? Not leather seats.
Oh shit! Yeah,
like the cloth. The cloth seats. Exactly. Right. So this driver is like, I didn't know what was happening at first because I didn't get as much of it on me, but I just like felt a little bit of wetness come across my way. And this driver was he was obviously foreign, and he starts fucking going off yelling shit chirping this girl. He pulls over immediately, and I sort of clue into what's going on. This guy's covered in puke. Oh, no. His car is covered in puke, and we all get out of the car like, what is happening? He's just chirping. He's just chirping this girl relentlessly.
Did you get your money back?
Yeah, I sent a little note in.
Hey, got puked on in one of your Uber pools.
Yeah.
I'll take my.
Sorry about that, Robbie. We'll refund you immediately.
We'll refund you your $3.50, you cheap ass. You should have taken an X.
Exactly the kind of note that I got back.